So we've got this document, and honestly, it's a real puzzle. It's a 30-year-old file that's part spy thriller, part bizarre poem, and it reads like it could have been written yesterday. It's pretty strange, kind of unsettling, and today we're going to try and crack it open together. We'll see what on earth it's trying to tell us. And it all kicks off with this, frankly, bizarre title: Aneurysmics, Patsies, or Pansies. It's meant to be confusing. Right off the bat, aneurysmics, that's not a word you hear every day, right? But in context, it seems to be talking about a people, maybe a whole nation, that's on the verge of a total collapse. So what's the author asking? Are these people patsies, fools who are easily tricked, or are they pansies, which is a derogatory term for someone who's seen as weak and ineffective? This is the central question we're going to try and unravel. So to figure this all out, here's our game plan. We'll start with the file itself, then meet the guy at the center of the story, dig into his view of a betrayed nation, see what happens when he looks for a hero, analyze his take on culture, and then, we'll circle all the way back to that big question: patsies or pansies? Okay, so first things first, let's look at the file itself. Because to really get what's going on in the text, you have to see the whole thing as this kind of found object. It's like a message in a bottle washed up from the past. I mean, just look at this timeline for a second. This thing was written way back in 1993, but it only just surfaced. This isn't someone just reacting to today's news. No, this is a voice from 30 years ago, and that's what makes its predictions about cultural decline feel so, incredibly strange, almost prophetic. So the document doesn't start with some big argument. Instead, it drops us right into a scene. We're thrown right into this super tense story about a man named Benedictus. He's a monk, and he is clearly in some serious, serious trouble. And let me tell you, this Benedictus guy, he's a real survivor. After some kind of explosion, he's been on the run for 9 hours. He's using his monk's robes as this really clever disguise, basically counting on people to just dismiss him as, in his words, a religious freak. If anyone gets too close, he fakes a delusional voice to drive them away. This guy is smart, he's resourceful, and he's definitely running from something big. And while he's hiding out, we get this little glimpse into his mindset. He's really frustrated that his pistol is foreign-made, and you start to realize, okay, this isn't just about a gun. That pistol becomes a symbol for everything he feels the country has lost: its manufacturing, its ability to stand on its own 2 feet, its power. In that one little personal complaint, it just explodes into this full-blown philosophy of national decay. For him, every crumbling building, every foreign-made product, it's all just another symptom of a country that has totally and completely lost its way. Then the document hits us with this absolutely devastating imagined conversation. Imagine this. A son, he's trying to defend his country's honor against people who are trashing it. So he goes looking for proof, for evidence of its greatness, and he comes up empty. He has to go back to his dad, ashamed. For the author, that is the ultimate betrayal. A nation that has failed its own kids so badly it can't even give them a reason to be proud. And the whole first part of the document wraps up with this Latin phrase, which means, how completely absurd and yet true. This is basically Benedictus just throwing his hands up in the air in complete despair. The decline he's seeing is so total, so unbelievable, it feels like it should be a joke. But no, he's convinced it is the grim, hard reality. All right, so that brings us to the second half of this whole thing, the poem. Now that he's sort of diagnosed the sickness, the author starts this desperate search for a cure, or really a hero, someone who can actually fix things. But his search, it pretty much immediately falls apart into this darkly comedic string of failures. He's thinking about all these classic, tough guy fictional detectives. Dick Tracy, Peter Gunn, Columbo. But he rejects every single one of them for the most bizarre reasons. A lot of the time it's because he doesn't like their names, or even the names of the actors who play them. It's so clear he's looking for a very specific type of old-fashioned, hyper-masculine hero. And he's just disgusted that he can't find one that measures up anymore, not even in fiction. So after failing to find a hero in the world of fiction, the narrator's tone just completely shifts. It's pure desperation now. He turns to God, but he's not even asking for a savior anymore. He's just asking for a sign, a direction, any kind of way forward. His search here on Earth has come up with nothing. And this leads us right onto the poem's chorus. This is where the critique pivots. It's not just about a lack of heroes anymore, it's about the very fabric of the culture itself, and he zeroes in on its music. Because for this author, what a society listens to, well, that reveals its soul.
And this is where his argument gets crystal clear. On one side, you've got what he was looking for, this aggressive, powerful, complex metal from guys like Youngie Malmsteen and Iron Maiden, music he sees as strong. And on the other side, that's what he feels he got instead, the soft, gentle pop of Barry Manilow and the Bee Gees. Look, for him, this isn't just a matter of taste. It's like the culture was screaming for fire, and all it got was lukewarm water.
So, okay, after all of that, the monk on the run, the critique of a failing nation, this hopeless search for a hero, the complaint about a weak culture, we finally circle back to the document's big, unresolved question. And the poem's final lines? They are incredibly revealing. After all of this, the author's final plea isn't to fix the world. It's not to find a hero to save it. His request is just to escape. I mean, listen to this. Help a monk out of this dimension before getting wrecked. That is a complete and total admission of defeat. It's a belief that the whole situation is beyond saving and the only smart thing to do is to get out. And that brings us all the way back to that provocative title. So what's the verdict? Are the people in this failing nation patsies, fools who've been tricked and taken advantage of? Or are they pansies, just too weak and culturally soft to even fight back? The thing is, the document never gives us an answer. It just lays out this really grim case for both sides and then leaves us hanging with this unsettling question. Which one is it? Or, and this is the really chilling thought, is the real tragedy that it might actually be both?